Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about working with company slide templates. Now, style guidelines, slide templates, these are important for branding, but sometimes they can feel too busy or restrictive when communicating your data. So this video offers some tips when faced with challenging slide templates, such as colorful brand palettes, dark theme templates that feel overly complex, or when everything needs to be on a single slide. Now, if you struggle with any of these scenarios, keep watching for some quick tips. This topic was specifically requested by a viewer. If you have other video requests, please comment below and we'll share additional ideas in the future. So one of our viewers has asked us to adapt the concepts that we cover in our time constraints video to their company's rigid slide guidelines. Now, companies often go through great time and expense to create their branding, their logos, their colors, fonts, templates, and related style guidelines. These help to create a cohesive look and feel. But if you're struggling with colorful, busy brand templates, know there's something you can always do to ensure your communications are effective. Specifically, I'll share ideas for these scenarios: colorful brand palettes, lack of contrast, strict slide layouts. Let's start with colorful brand palettes. When folks complain about presentation templates, common gripe has to do with too much color and visual distraction. This, of course, is perhaps true if you use all of the colors in your brand palette together all at once, like in this example, where we're using every color for the different categories. Now, with thoughtful integration of neutral colors, like blacks and grays, augmented with just a single brand color, we can often alleviate this issue. So just because your logo, brand, or template has a lot of colors does not mean they all need to make it into your slide or graph. Select a color or perhaps a couple of colors from the brand palette to include in your presentation. Color is arguably the most important decision you make when focusing your audience's attention where you want it. So check out our video on being clever with color for more tips on how to do that. Now let's move on to discussing the challenge of lacking contrast. Now, lack of contrast is closely related to colorful brand templates, and it's really important in all communications, but especially important if you have a visually busy template with a vibrant background pattern or color, or perhaps a template with a dark theme. In this particular example, know how important it is to be even more careful about what you add to the slide. You want to generally put fewer elements than you would otherwise as to not overwhelm your audience. You'll also want to be thoughtful to create sufficient visual contrast to direct attention without completely overwhelming your audience. Notice the difference here with just a few design changes to ensure that there is sufficient contrast. Now, for more examples and inspiration on designing in dark mode, I recommend you check out our community challenge on the topic. I'll link to this in the comments below. Now, the next situation I want to discuss is strict slide layouts. Sometimes you may be faced in a situation where you need to put a lot of information on a slide. Perhaps you have a single slide update template that you've been directed to use. Maybe something that looks a little bit like this. In this case, you'll want to take extra care to establish a visual hierarchy, meaning you want to design information so that not all of the elements are treated equally. Highlight the most important aspects so they stand out and garner attention by using size and position on the page. For example, take away titles at the top that are slightly larger and then put smaller supporting text underneath that. You'll also notice how I leveraged white space to create some separation and break up a very busy slide. This helps to create something that's easily scannable and signals to your audience how to process the dense information without overwhelming or confusing them. We could also adjust the visuals to reinforce the text and use color sparingly to focus attention. Now, this slide here has all the same information in the original, but it's been organized in a way to make it easier to process. If you find yourself creating a lot of single slide updates or executive summaries, I recommend you read our related article on designing executive summaries. I'll also link to this in the comments below. So there are some quick ideas for you if you're struggling with colorful and cluttered brand templates. I'd also recommend that you look for avenues to delicately provide feedback to those requiring or creating the brand templates you're using. I briefly discussed being thoughtful of color, contrast, hierarchy in your slide presentations. To learn more, read our latest book, Storytelling with You, and watch our Storytelling with Cole video series. Thanks for watching.